Well, thank you everyone for joining us this morning. I almost said this afternoon because I'm so used to afternoon webinars. But yes, good morning. Today's presentation is with Yatco, entitled Mastering Mobile Apps and Loyalty for Regional Convenience Stores. My name is Ryan DeLello. I'm a content specialist for Paytronix, and I'm very pleased today to be joined by Hussein Yatim, the Vice President at Yatco. And now, before we dive into today's presentation, I just want to give a brief overview of the agenda. And we're going to start by learning a bit more about the Yatco brand, and then I'll zoom out to discuss loyalty program structure, just bring everyone up to speed on how we conceptualize loyalty programs. And then we'll go into an immersive discussion with Hussein around Yatco's loyalty program and their mobile app. We'll conclude the discussion with their employee retention program, and then we'll open up the floor for some questions and answers. So Hussein, thank you so much for joining us today. I want to hand the floor over to you to introduce Yatco and tell us a little bit about your brand.
Sure, thanks Ryan. And before we start, I want to thank Ryan, Paytronix, and Convenience Store News for having me on for this webinar. So looking forward to the discussion today. So yeah, just to kick it off, just to give a background about Yatco. So the company was established in about 30 years ago now, 1992, just as a family-run business in retail specifically. So throughout the last 30 years, we've bought, acquired, and built sites. And then in 2012, a little more than 10 years ago, we got into the wholesale distribution business. And then the last couple of years, we've been heavily concentrated in Mass, but we've been growing in other New England states. Specifically, we have a site in Connecticut, a couple in Rhode Island, and the next year and a half, 2 years, we have a handful of new to industry builds coming online. So that's pretty much high level of the company. And today, obviously, with this discussion in Paytronix, end of 2021, we launched a loyalty program, a white label app, to get our first foray into loyalty and in the digital space with our brands.
Awesome, Hussein. And speaking of loyalty programs, I think this might be iterative for many of you in the audience, but just to bring us all up to speed, loyalty programs come in three parts. There's the core program that we like to think of as sort of the heart of your program, or the constitution. This is sort of the essence of the program. It's how customers are going to be relaying the program details to one another. On top of that are the layers. These add depth and flair to strengthen brand affinity and drive enrollment. And then finally, there are promotions, and these we're all familiar with. They're kind of the come and go aspects, creative and specific ways to influence guest behavior on more of a tactical basis. So now, zooming into Yatco and loyalty, Hussein, take me back to when you were first considering a loyalty program. What were the initial reasons for the brand considering one in the first place?
Yeah, as a company, we were getting to the point where geographically we're at the size and building the brand where we're getting a reputation. So we wanted to kind of take that next step to offer something unique to our chain and to our customers, where we can retain customers coming in, where a loyalty program would provide us to run deals and specials and just have a digital interaction with our customers, which obviously without that you can't do. So with our store count where we were, we thought it was a good time to start. And then obviously as a company, we're growing, right? So it would just get more robust as we move ahead.
Absolutely. And so then when you went to the drawing board to choose a loyalty program, you all had many, many options. And I'm curious why you went with a points-based program.
Yeah, we leaned heavily on Paytronix to kind of give us their insight and expertise on where to start. So points-based programs, just based off data we were provided in discussions, are really good for a starting program because it's simple to understand. The customer's building a point bank as they're spending in store, and and pumping gas, and then you're kind of leaving it up to them what they want to use those points for. So it's flexible for the customer. You're not pigeonholing them into what they need to use their points for, which kind of gets tricky because some people won't like certain products. So you're kind of giving that flexibility to customers so they see more value. And then on top of that, we've been able to layer other pieces of the program, which have been fun and been effective in addition to the points.
Got it. Absolutely key to kind of give your customers that amount of flexibility and empower them to sort of get the subjective value out of the program that they want. From the drawing board came implementations, and I'm wondering what that process looked like, whether y'all encountered any challenges in launching the program, maybe particularly from an operations standpoint.
Yeah, so when we launched, we obviously had to do a kickoff and kind of build out of what our program is going to look like. So we had challenges on the technical side, making sure all our sites were software compliant with the integration to the loyalty, obviously feeding into the Paytronix system. So that was a hurdle we had to get over. And then obviously once that was done, implementing it, and then the rollout's a big piece of that, where once you have an app that's live or a program that's live, what's like coming up with a strategy to make sure it's successful and getting customers on board and making sure employees and store level staff are in tune with the program. And really, essentially, it's really driven by them at the stores and getting customers on and making sure it's a successful program.
You said, I want to ask you a question kind of on the fly here, but I think you made it a very important point. That is, even if you have the tech stack all aligned and the loyalty program is perfectly designed, a lot rests on your employees in store, I guess, communicating effectively the value of the program. Was there a lot of training that had to go into preparing your staff for that? I'm curious what that process might have looked like.
Yeah, we did a few weeks before we actually rolled it out to customers. We did on-site training with all the stores, going through scenarios of different use cases, how obviously the program works, how the points-based works, just so at the store level, everybody had the knowledge of the program. And if a customer had questions, we covered most of what they need to know. Obviously, through time, things come up, which we didn't account for, but we addressed those on the fly. So that was important. And then obviously the managers of our stores are the champions of the program. So they're responsible for any new hires coming on, knowing about the program, being in tune with signing up customers and how that dialogue takes place, and understanding how the program works, right?
Got it. And then finally, what has the loyalty program done for Yatco? I mean, especially for a growing brand, maybe how has loyalty allowed you to really scale Yatco?
Yeah, it's been interesting for us because there's been a lot of byproducts of what the program we initially thought it'd be for, and then what also it's provided. So obviously it's been a tool for marketing, right? We can push our Yatco brand out digitally. We could communicate with customers, run deals, have customers come in more frequently based off what campaigns we run. But also it's been a touch point to interact with customers. And as we've grown the program, more people have signed up, we've actually gotten a lot of feedback and people reaching out to us through our customer service line and email that they're very interactive and want to know more about the brand, where our store is going, what are we going to run for promotions. And that's been cool because it's showing our customers are engaged, they care, they want to know kind of where we're going with this program and what more are we going to offer. And then also at times I've used it as a customer service tool. So obviously with any retail store, you're going to run into situations. So I've been able to use the app as something where I can offer customers different rewards and things if, say, an experience was less than ideal, where before there wasn't really a way to do that rather than a store level handling it, but we've been able to get people on the program and used it that way. And then obviously all the data that comes out of running the program has been instrumental for us, just looking at buying behavior, looking at incremental sales based off doing a campaign for something specific, but then seeing the trickle effect of what else is that customer buying because they came into the store that day due to a call to action we sent.
Wow, that's incredible. So, beyond loyalty just being kind of that fulfilling that transactional purpose of getting people into the store more, maybe upselling them where possible, it's also, it sounds like it's building up affinity for the Yatco brand, and conversely, really building up an understanding of who your customers are and why they come to your stores, why they love Yatco. That's great. That's ultimately what a successful loyalty program should grow into. I want to move forward here to talk about a really successful campaign that y'all ran recently over Memorial Day weekend. Hussein, what happened here?
Yeah, so we've been trying to get into more of, on top of the points-based program where we just talked about, layering in deals or rewards on top of that. And one of the ways we're doing that is taking advantage of holidays, which are obviously the big holidays, 4th of July, Memorial Day, things like that, but then also fun holidays like National Candy Day and things like that, and using it as an opportunity to do a deal that day that's fun and gets people active on the app. So Memorial Day, which was recently, we ran a deal going into that weekend for something that's a very popular product, which is Coke 20-ounce products, which in the retail space, obviously it's a big seller for most brands and companies. So we leaned into that. It was very simple. If for every customer, they were getting a free 20-ounce Coke they could redeem through the app, and it was specific through Memorial Day weekend. That's a big travel weekend in the country, throughout the country. Here, obviously, regionally, people are on the road. So taking advantage of the customer, either getting gas and then using something like this, which is a free product, to pull them in the store.
That's excellent, Hussein. And you saw that with the sales of the free product, customers were buying other things that paired well with the Coke once you brought them in store.
Yeah, so it was 3 days they had the opportunity to redeem, and I hadn't run the report when it ended, but at the time while it was going on, it was a couple hundred redemptions. So a couple hundred customers went in and actually took advantage of that Coke offer. And then I would go into specific accounts that had redemptions and to take a look at when they went and bought that Coke, did they do anything else in store? And there was, I would say, at least 3/4 of the time that customer bought the Coke, but also bought maybe like some snacks, a sandwich, tobacco, lottery. There was one example, they went in for the free Coke, but then they purchased, it was like $30 worth of goods in the store, which that's obviously like tremendous upsell and basket size for a C-store. So it's that's what's really cool to me, is like you're prompting them to come in, but then you're seeing their basket build because you got them in the store. And that's really the holy grail of these programs, is getting them in and then letting your store and brand take it from there, where they'll start looking at what else you offer and purchasing.
Absolutely. And I think that goes to show, we're moving past this sentiment that I think was pervasive in the industry years ago, namely that loyalty programs are just about giving away free stuff. Seeing that incremental lift in basket size and how many folks it gets to come into the store and engage past the pump is really, really noteworthy. Now, the last aspect of the loyalty program that I want to discuss here is vendor relationships, because as I understand it, leveraging these relationships is what makes a lot of these offers, especially the free offers, possible. And I wanted to talk to you about, why are vendor relationships so important to Yatco and maybe to C-stores in the industry?
Yeah, so when we launched loyalty, obviously it's been a learning experience, but with a chain our size, obviously we're not the biggest chain out there. We're not a mom and pop anymore. So it's unique. We're kind of in that in between. And when we've worked with our vendors to either support the app, we found out that most chains our size aren't even in this foray of the digital space. So we get a lot of excitement around that from our vendors wanting to participate. So a lot of the programs we run, whether it's like a free giveaway or redemptions through points for a product, we get a lot of vendor support through that, whether it's like product support, like monetary support through what we're giving away, giveaways through app members. So it helps us both, right? We're offering value through our app. The customers see that it's worthwhile being on the Yatco Rewards app, but then from the vendor perspective, they're able to push their brands and increment sales because we're going at the customer in a different avenue than traditionally at a store level running deals. Now we can do unique programs on an app and have the touch point where we can send either email blasts, push notifications, and just more visibility to their products. And a lot of the vendors, they've been very receptive to being involved with our program because of that and because it's unique for them to grow their brand as well.
Absolutely. And we were talking prior to this presentation. Y'all are very in the near future revamping your mobile app, and one of those features is going to include a sort of carousel of images, and you're looking forward to giving vendors the opportunity to advertise right on the home page of the app. So it sounds like it's really a win-win. I'm wondering if you can if you have anything else to add on how vendor rewards sort of factor into a loyalty program.
Yeah, so kind of going off of the discussion about how vendors, their excitement to join the app with the 2.0, I call it the 2.0 version that we're going to move towards. There's more visibility on running deals and member products, and one of the features is a carousel of things. It could be products, items that we'd want to support. Obviously, there's limited space to what you want to show on there, so for us, it's a revenue center of having vendors join and want to push a certain product or brand and getting them tied into that with and we're doing it on a quarterly basis where they can purchase packages for us. It's on a marketing spend to be featured on the app, the product featured running a deal that's exclusive to members, and then it comes along with a lot of other marketing touch points at the store level, and that, as well digitally on social, that vendors could get involved in. And it's been a way for us to leverage our vendor relationships, grow the app more, and increase sales on things and different seasonality throughout the year of what we're trying to push as a company and product categories. Absolutely.
Well, and now I could feel the conversation sort of going more and more into the mobile app. So let's talk about the mobile app. It's absolutely beautifully designed, and with the images of these screenshots up on everyone's computer. Tell me a little bit about, prior to all of this coming together, what was the motivation to make loyalty available on the app and build an app altogether?
Yeah, I think where we are, just in general on the retail space, most people obviously on their phones a lot of the day. People want everything on their phone, includes payment, and then just apps in general. we have a lot of them for not just retail and C-store, but for everything else. So it just made sense that's kind of what we lead with is a mobile app available through iOS and Android. So anybody pretty much with a smartphone could download our app. So that's why we went with the app base, but we also offer actual physical cards at the store level where if a customer doesn't want to download a mobile app, they can take a card, earn points, and then go on our website and sign into a web-based account and then redeem their points that way. Obviously, that's more cumbersome. You have to get on a computer, but we didn't want to alienate folks who don't have a smartphone or don't want to download an app for a variety of reasons. We still wanted them to participate. So the app, majority of our customers are on there and using it, but we still offer a way for non-app customers to be on the program.
Excellent. So just breaking these screenshots down a little bit further, this is sort of the sign-in experience and a few things that I just want to call out here. The first is that it's aesthetic. It's clean. It's not overwhelming. It's, the accessibility is very much there on the face of the app. It's secure. You've got a password with an autofill option or Face ID, and it's personable. The very first thing that you see when you hit that drop-down menu is the user's profile. So it's already hinting towards that degree of personalized experience. Once you're past the sign-in screen, here are some of the main touch points of the app. And Hussein, I wondered whether you could just kind of walk us through from left to right what this kind of journey is for a customer exploring the mobile app.
Sure. So you originally went through kind of when you open the app, the sign on, which is we were very particular on what information we asked, and we took the stance of if we're not going to be using the information, we don't ask for it. So one of the things we do ask for is birthday, and people sometimes are cognizant, well, why are they asking for them? The reason is that we leverage what a lot of different brands do on birthdays. We give customers a reward. Ours is a $5 coupon they can use in store on anything excluding tobacco, lottery, and things of that nature. So because we're gathering information, there's reasons for it, and that reason customers are okay with because they're getting something for providing that. And then once you get in here, like you were saying, Ryan, it's the white label app. So we kept it as simple as possible. It gives you your total points there right on the screen right above the buttons, and then the buttons are self-explanatory. The My Account, they can go into there. They'll see everything that's loaded on their account that they can redeem for. Then to the right, there's the Reward Yourself, which is the menu of products and items a customer can use their points to redeem them for. So you'll see gas discounts there, products, just a variety of things. There's a digital barcode, which is their digital card. So at point of sale, they would click on that, go and check out, and the cashier will prompt to scan their Yatco Rewards ID, which is that barcode, so they can get their points for that visit. Transactions just lists all the transactions they've obviously done through the rewards and the points they accrued for that visit. And then locations is all the stores, Yatco sites they can visit, and it actually is really neat because it chronologically lists all sites based off where that user is in that point of time, what's closest to them. So if they want to find their nearest Yatco, the first store would be the one at the top of the list that's closest. So that's pretty much it, and we try to keep it as simple as possible. We understand that there's a bunch of apps out there, and I think the best ones do a good job in making it easy to use, not too much thinking. You spend dollars in a store, you build points, and you're just getting rewarded for that. And that's really the base of what we've done here with this first iteration.
That's excellent. And, as you said, it's very evident in the design, all of those values. Just to underscore a few of the things that you mentioned in walking through the app, yes, the home page is great because you've got full access to all the app's functionality from a single page. The store locator, that is very cool that it is sort of geographically personalized. Reward tracker and order now and transaction history, it's just a nice sort of streamlined experience, all sort of self-explanatory. And on the right there is that barcode that you referenced earlier, through which customers can redeem all of their available rewards. Now, with the mobile app on the table and the loyalty program, I wanted to sort of bring it all together with a discussion of the employee retention efforts that Yatco makes, because I think that this is really cool. Hussein, tell us a little bit about the structure and benefits of your employee retention program.
Sure. I'll give a background to this. So I was noticing that at our corporate office, just talking to employees, not for any reason, but some didn't really visit our stores frequently for a variety of reasons, location, whatever it is. But then I realized there was really no incentive, like at that point where a Yatco employee, if they went to one of our locations, there would be a perk because there was an employee. And I was like, okay, this is a good opportunity where we could leverage our newly launched app and create a tier within it for employees to have some benefits because they work for the company. So what we built with the app for our employee tier program is they get a weekly gas discount of 25 cents. That's non-cumulative. So if they don't use it for that week, the system takes away the discount, and then the following week we'll add it back in just so it's not stacking. And then also 20% off in-store sales or in-store products. So that doesn't include, obviously, tobacco, lottery, beer and wine, liquor, but your snacks, your packaged beverage, sandwiches, it does include it. So the reason for that, we know just based off what the industry does, it's a pretty robust offering for an employee. But I see it as with our employees where we're looking to maximize margin off employees. There are brand ambassadors, right? So if they're trying our products in store, they're doing our shopping in our stores, they're the best points of contact to talk about the brand. And it also is a funnel for them to have incentive for all the employees to use the app because they're the ones driving the sign up. So if they're really frequently using the program, they'll know more about it and they can speak better to it. So it keeps them happy. They're getting a great discount just being part of the company. It's driving in-store purchases. Obviously, they'll bring all their purchasing to Yatco stores, but also as brand ambassadors and just being informed of the use of the app. It builds that knowledge the more frequently they're using it.
That's awesome, Hussein. I love how there's sort of that underlying strategic component here that is, giving the employees sort of firsthand knowledge, as you said, of the program and then being sort of the best brand ambassadors that they can be. Well, this has been such a great discussion. We're coming up on 30 minutes here, so I want to pass it back to Danielle or Lindsay to open up the floor for some questions.
Thanks, Ryan. Sorry again about the technical difficulties I had earlier. I want to thank you and Ryan thank you, Hussein, for such an insightful presentation. As we begin with today's Q&A, please remember to submit your questions using the Q&A feature on the left side of your screen. Also, if we run out of time before getting to your question, our presenters will get back to you privately with a response. Also, please remember to fill out the evaluation survey that will automatically appear on your screen at the conclusion of the event. And now on to our question and answer portion. So the first question that came in is, what methods of enrollment does Yatco offer for its loyalty program?
Yeah, so enrollment methods that we touched on were there's a little bit of echo here. Yeah, so the enrollment methods are obviously the app itself, just downloading the app and signing up there. They could do that anywhere. We have POS at the stores that have QR codes, so it prompts them to sign up, and there's signage for that. And then the other two methods are at the store level, when a customer is checking out, The employees, one of their dialogues to prompt is to ask the customer if they're a Yatco Rewards member. If they're not, they can scan a physical card there at the point of sale, and the customer will get points for that purchase that day. But the step the customer then has to take is downloading the app or registering that card and creating an account. And then the points they accrued, they can obviously then start using that for free product or gas discounts. And then also it's tied to your mobile phone. So if a customer doesn't have their smartphone on them or physical card, at the POS, they can actually enter in the phone number they use to sign up, and that will also redeem their points. So there's a variety of touch points that a customer can kind of raise their hand and get their points and redeem their rewards.
Okay, great. Tying into that, another question that came in is, has there been a specific strategy in particular that has been the most successful in getting customers to download the mobile app?
Yeah, I really think it starts at the store level. Like here as a management group, we could come out with the best strategy in the world, but if it's not implemented down in the operations, it won't work. So yeah, we've been very hands-on in the field, doing trainings, kind of keeping the company and everybody in retail at the stores in the know of new things we're rolling out, new programs, so they're aware of it. And then if there's any questions, we work with them. But another piece of that is we do a bonus program for our staff, and one of the metrics they're measured on is signing up reward members, and it's been that way since we launched. We'll probably kind of shift over once we've been saturated with signups to do it as a measure of loyalty transactions versus total sales, because we're trying to push a lot of our sales to be through loyalty members. But having an incentive for them to actually sign up customers has been good, because they monetarily can earn bonuses based off the amount of people they sign up, and it's been a great tool just to see them at the store level driving signups.
Got it. Tying into the topic with employees, besides talking with employees, how else do you educate your customers about the program?
Yeah, so we have obviously our website. We have a landing page for the rewards, and it does a good job laying out high level understanding of how the program is built and how it works, how much points you receive for various types of transactions. And then also whenever we do a campaign where it involves redeeming for a product, in that email campaign we sent out, we will put a list of steps of what they need to do at the store level to redeem for the item. And then on top of that, we have meetings with staff pretty frequently here as a company. And then typically most of those meetings will have a section of breakout where we discuss the app. We'll address questions. If there's anything functionally they don't understand, we'll try to get that cleared up. So when they're at the store level, it's they can help customers, and themselves will understand how things work.
Great. Sorry. One of the questions that came in was talking about a target percent of customers. I'm sorry, let me reframe that. So the question came in regarding the Coke product as part of the redemption. So what percentage of customers on the loyalty membership bought the Coke product?
Is that as total numbers? Is that what it's asking?
Yes. What are the number of customers?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
I can jump in. Oh yeah, you got it. Okay.
Sorry, there's some accent here. So the percentage wasn't a huge number. The redemption count was good. It was a few hundred, but at this point, last I saw, we have close to 10,000 total members. So percentage-wise, it's not a big number. But also you got to take a look at length of the program. So it was a 3-day offering, right? So some programs we run are a month long, so you're going to see obviously more redemptions. But it's to just capitalize on people who probably would have came into the store or came and visited anyway. You're just trying to pull them in to the store and get that lift of incremental sales and basket size. Then also when we do those programs, we partner with our CPGs because they like to see that data and get some funding behind us giving away, like in this case, a free product. So as a company, we would do an offer of a free product even though it wasn't covered or it's not covered, but most of the times we do get vendor support for doing something like that to some degree, whether it is a cost thing or free product to offset giving things away.
Okay, great. The next question that came in is, can you explain how loyalty clubs work? Do they help attract new customers to your program?
Yeah, that's a great question. We haven't put a lot of emphasis on that, but with the clubs, it's kind of like how people used to have paper punch cards. So we have that built into our app, but we haven't put much emphasis on it. So you can do a club where an employee or a customer buys X amount of a product and gets 1 or 2 for free. So that's a great way to build incremental sales because they'll see it almost as a game. Like if I buy 5 or over time, I can get something for free. And if it's a popular product, it would be utilized effectively. So I know subscriptions are a big discussion now with loyalty. So we're looking at that, especially now in the summer. A lot of people do a fountain subscription or a slush program. It's just really a math game economically with that, as offering a subscription and kind of looking at cost and where it makes sense to price that. So just being transparent, we haven't put a lot of emphasis and thought, but that's something we are looking at.
All right. And this question is, how do I get customers to download my app? Is Yatco seeing any results from registration rewards?
Yeah, I think a big piece of it is offering a sign-on reward. So we offer a gas discount plus, I think it's 200 points for a sign-up. So it's a free app. Obviously, I think all retail apps are free. But on top of that, you want to give them a reason to at least take that step to download and sign up. And a gas reward is a good way to do it with gas prices, how they have been and are. So that's a piece of it, but then also kind of as I hit on a few times, just having your staff really in tune with the program, seeing it as important to the organization, the brand, that the company, and you're trying to push it and explaining why it's important that people sign up. It's not like high level. I know when we launched, people thought it was just a way for us to give free product, but obviously through our discussion here, it's more than that, and gathering that data of buying behavior and essentially getting people to visit more. So actually informing staff on why we're doing this is important, and then things we've layered in, whether it's been a bonus or part of their bonus, and making sure they are pushing the app at the store level. It's always a work in progress, just getting the signups, but just having different things and strategies pushing that is important, and kind of what I've talked about is a few of the ways we've looked at it.
Great. Those are great recommendations and final thoughts as we wrap up the Q&A section. So I want to thank Ryan and Hussein again for sharing your insights with us, and thank you to our audience for attending today's webcast, Yatco, Mastering Mobile Apps and Loyalty for Regional C-Stores, sponsored by Paytronix. Thank you for your time and have a great day.